Now, I've been a gardener for more years than I care to remember, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that gardening is full of myths. You know, the sort of thing, old wives' tales passed down through generations, often with the best of intentions, but not always entirely accurate. So today we're going to separate fact from fiction and debunk some of the most common gardening myths. We'll explore the truth behind these misconceptions, and more importantly, equip you with the knowledge you need to create the garden of your dreams. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, so let's dig in and get our hands dirty, shall we? There's something here for everyone. One of the biggest misconceptions about gardening is that it requires a sprawling backyard. Now, while it's true that a large plot offers plenty of room for experimentation, don't despair if your outdoor space is more pocket-sized than park-sized. Some of the most vibrant and productive gardens I've encountered have been tucked away in the most unexpected of places. Take container gardening, for instance. It's a game changer for those with limited space, allowing you to transform patios, balconies, and windowsills into thriving green havens. And the beauty of it is, you can grow a surprising variety of plants in containers, from luscious tomatoes and peppers to fragrant herbs and even dwarf fruit trees. The key to successful container gardening lies in choosing the right size container for your chosen plants, ensuring adequate drainage, and using a high-quality potting mix that provides the necessary nutrients. Remember, containers tend to dry out faster than garden beds, so keep a close eye on moisture levels, especially during warmer months. And don't be afraid to get creative with your containers. Repurposed buckets, old sinks, hanging baskets. The possibilities are endless. Embrace the opportunity to add a touch of your personality to your container garden and watch as it becomes a source of both beauty and bounty. Remember, gardening is about adapting to the space you have and making the most of it. With a little ingenuity and care, you can cultivate a bountiful harvest no matter the size of your outdoor area. Container gardening is a game changer. You can grow tomatoes, herbs, and even peppers right on your balcony or patio. It's all about choosing the right container and soil. Now let's talk about sunlight. It's common knowledge that plants need sunlight to thrive, but the notion that all plants crave constant, direct sunlight is simply untrue. In fact, many plants not only tolerate shade, but actually prefer it. Take leafy greens, for example. Spinach, lettuce, and kale are all quite content in partially shaded areas, especially during the hottest part of the day. The dappled light filtering through a tree canopy or the gentle shade cast by a wall can provide the perfect growing conditions for these cool season crops. And it's not just leafy greens that appreciate a bit of respite from the sun. Many herbs, including parsley, cilantro, and mint, also thrive in partial shade. In fact, too much direct sunlight can cause their delicate leaves to scorch, especially in warmer climates. When planning your garden, take the time to observe the patterns of sunlight and shade throughout the day. Identify areas that receive morning sun and afternoon shade, or vice versa, as these microclimates can be ideal for plants that prefer less intense sunlight. Don't let a shady garden discourage you. Embrace the opportunity to cultivate a tranquil oasis filled with lush foliage and delicate blooms that thrive in the cool embrace of shade. Remember, gardening is about working with nature, not against it. Some plants like spinach, lettuce, and kale actually thrive in partial shade. Don't let limited sunlight stop you from gardening. Now, this next myth always brings a smile to my face. We've all heard the advice to talk to our plants, haven't we? And while it might seem a bit whimsical, there's actually a kernel of truth to this age-old practice. Now, I'm not suggesting that plants have ears and engage in deep philosophical conversations with us. Although, wouldn't that be fascinating? The real benefit of chatting to your plants lies in the carbon dioxide we exhale with every breath. You see, plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, the process by which they convert sunlight into energy. When we talk to our plants, we're essentially providing them with a readily available source of this essential gas. So, while it's lovely to think that our words of encouragement are boosting our plants' morale, it's actually the simple act of breathing near them that's providing a tangible benefit. Of course, a little love and attention never hurt anyone, so feel free to continue your garden chats. Just remember, it's not about holding lengthy monologues. A simple hello, a few words of admiration as you water them. It's the little interactions that can make all the difference. And who knows? You might even find that talking to your plants brings you a sense of peace and connection with the natural world. So go ahead and talk to your plants if you want, they won't mind. Now let's talk about composting. It's often shrouded in an air of mystery, perceived as a complicated, even messy endeavor. But let me assure you, composting is far simpler than you might think. At its core, composting is about mimicking nature's own recycling process. It's about transforming kitchen scraps and garden waste into a nutrient-rich soil amendment that your plants will absolutely adore. And the beauty of it is, you don't need any fancy equipment or a degree in chemistry to create your own compost. The basic principle is simple: layer greens, nitrogen-rich materials like vegetable scraps, grass clippings, and coffee grounds, with browns, carbon-rich materials like dried leaves, shredded paper, and cardboard. This balance of materials provides the perfect environment for beneficial microorganisms to break down the organic matter, transforming it into black gold for your garden. You can compost in a simple open pile, a designated composting bin, or even a worm farm if you're feeling adventurous. The key is to keep the pile moist, like a wrung-out sponge, and turn it occasionally to provide aeration. Not only will composting reduce your household waste, but it will also provide you with a free and sustainable source of plant food that's packed with essential nutrients. Plus, there's something incredibly satisfying about closing the loop in your garden, transforming waste into a valuable resource. Composting is as simple as layering greens like veggie scraps, with browns like dried leaves. Over time, you'll have nutrient-rich soil your plants will love. Now, Epsom salt has gained quite a reputation in gardening circles as something of a miracle cure-all. While it's true that Epsom salt can be beneficial in certain situations, it's important to approach its use with a dose of caution. Epsom salt is essentially magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is an essential nutrient for plant growth, playing a vital role in chlorophyll production, which gives plants their green color, and photosynthesis. If your soil is deficient in magnesium, Epsom salt can help address this imbalance. However, it's important to note that not all plants require supplemental magnesium, and overuse of Epsom salt can actually harm your plants. Too much magnesium can interfere with the uptake of other essential nutrients, leading to imbalances and potentially harming your plants. Before reaching for the Epsom salt, it's always best to get your soil tested to determine its nutrient content. This will give you a clear understanding of your soil's composition and help you make informed decisions about any necessary amendments. Remember, gardening is about working in harmony with nature's delicate balance. While Epsom salt can be a useful tool in your gardening arsenal, it's not a magic solution for all your plant problems. For example, Epsom salt can help plants with magnesium deficiency. It's not a magic fix. Overuse can actually harm your plants. Always test your soil first. I hope this little journey through the world of gardening misconceptions has empowered you to approach your gardening endeavors with confidence and a healthy dose of skepticism. Remember, gardening is a journey of continuous learning and experimentation. Don't be afraid to try new things, make mistakes, and learn from your experiences. The most important thing is to find joy in the process, to connect with nature, and to savor the fruits and vegetables of your labor. So go forth, get your hands dirty, and create a garden that brings you joy, nourishes your body and soul, and reminds you of the simple pleasures in life. Remember, gardening doesn't have to be complicated. With the right information, you'll be growing like a pro in no time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite gardening myth in the comments below. Happy gardening!